Never thought I'd fall into the world of crypto until every bank started canceling us for absolutely no reason whatsoever other than the fact that my father was in politics, right? I mean, we got canceled by absolutely everybody. They came after us viciously. And it wasn't until that time that I realized how important crypto was.
Just a day before the tariff announcements, Eric Trump explains why the U.S. desperately needs good crypto regulation. Does this mean that Trump's tariffs that are coming out today could actually be good for Bitcoin, DeFi, and crypto overall? And apart from this, a leading DeFi altcoin caught my attention as it soared 100% in the last 24 hours. And crypto whales are again on a buying spree in the RWA sector, and this time it's not Ondo. This is your Altcoin Buzz news. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Cody, and if you're new here, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I drop latest content. Follow us on Twitter, AltcoinBuzzIO, and as always, not financial advice, and wish you the best of luck in your crypto ventures. Alright you guys, today is the Liberation Day. We are expecting to see Trump's tariffs go live today at 4 p.m. EST. At least that's when the whole ceremony and everything is going on. So we'll probably know for an earlier news video tomorrow, everything that's happened overnight. But yeah, we have Trump's tariffs today. The market doesn't look too terrible right now. It actually looks decent and it looks like it could go higher. It's very possible that when the news comes out today, based on what I'm about to show you, that the market actually goes higher as all of the fears and uncertainty are finally dealt with. So it is possible that we could rally after this today. It's also very possible we could dump. So I'm not taking any positions, but that is one possibility where we could rally higher as all of the fear and uncertainty is finally dealt with and we actually know what is going to happen. Even if it's not great news, because we already have dealt with it and we know what to expect, the markets could, have already priced that in. So we're going to get to that in a second. But first today, we have Eric Trump talking about major banks and why he got into crypto.
And we have properties, commercial buildings that have thousands of, literally hundreds and hundreds of employees, thousands of people that work in those buildings every single day. They call you up saying, in 2 weeks, we're going to need you to, shut down the bank account. Otherwise, we're going to send, wow. These bank accounts are ecosystems, and they came after us viciously because my father was in the White House and they wanted to punish us, right? It was legal lawfare, it was political lawfare, and that's what opened my eyes. I'm a hard asset guy. My entire life has been building real, hotels, golf courses, real estate buildings, right? Commercial buildings, etc. That's what I've done. If there's anybody's eyes who shouldn't have been open to the world of cryptocurrency, it was mine, other than I realized the power that these banks had, and I realized how they were exerting that power, and they were canceling businesses all over our country. It was political. It was forced. They were targeting people that they didn't like. It wasn't fair. And then you realize that there's not a single thing that those banks do that can't be done better, cheaper, more efficiently, faster on blockchain. Why is it that the modern financial system runs 9 to 5 Monday through Friday? It doesn't make sense, right? And again, that's why I fell in love with crypto. And I truly believe that Bitcoin is one of the greatest stores of value, immediately liquid, an unbelievable hedge against real estate, and something we're really excited about.
Do you want to see specific regulation clarity in terms of what the boundaries are, the backdrop is in a regulatory front when it comes to stablecoin, when it comes to Bitcoin? What are your thoughts on what that looks like?
Yeah, I think everybody in the industry does. I think everybody wants guidelines. That's part of the problem in the crypto industry. It's always been so murky that people didn't know the guidelines to follow. We have to be the leaders in this country. There's no question, because every other country in the world is doing it and doing it quickly. And I really actually think that U.S. stablecoin, saves the dollar in a very big way.
And then for my main point today, why Trump's tariffs could actually be good for Bitcoin. So we have Liberation Day happening today. So far, the crypto markets haven't behaved as expected under the Trump administration. Pretty much since Inauguration Day back in late January, Bitcoin's been down only. We've gone to $100,000, but after that, we've just been selling off like crazy. Crypto prices have seen a lot of issues, but a lot of this came from tariffs. As the global financial and trade system becomes more fragmented, investors are seeking alternatives to riskier assets, including the dollar. For now, that means turning to gold, which is up 18% year to date. But that could change, as Bitcoin could be the new gold soon enough. Some people argue that crypto is just a risk-on tech asset that would sell off due to tariffs. But Bitcoin has found footing in some circles as digital gold, and the physical variety is soaring on the tariff news. So which will it be? In other words, economic uncertainty could lead investors to seek out Bitcoin, just as they've sought out gold in recent months. And another note of positivity, the impact of tariffs on crypto could be priced in, and their worst might be over already, according to Zach Pennell, head of research at Grayscale, a leading crypto asset management firm. So according to Zach, the crypto tariffs, the tariffs in crypto could be priced in, which I think is also a very real possibility. President Trump is due to announce U.S. tariffs on Wednesday, April 2nd at 4 p.m. ET, which is known as Liberation Day. According to reports, he'll lay out reciprocal tariffs against 15 countries that have levied tariffs against the U.S., including China, Canada, and Mexico. Pendle estimates tariffs have so far taken 2% off economic growth this year, but Liberation Day might actually stop the worst of the pain felt in financial markets. If we see an announcement on Wednesday that's tough but phased and focus on the 15 countries they seem to be targeting, my expectation is that markets will rally on that news. Potentially, once we get through this announcement, crypto markets can focus back on the fundamentals, which are very positive. And Pendle said announcements like Circle's IPO wouldn't be happening if institutions didn't have a high degree of confidence in the digital asset sector and the policies around it. Pendle still believes that Bitcoin will hit a new all-time high this year, despite the current pessimism around prices, saying I wouldn't have quit my Wall Street job if I didn't think Bitcoin will be the winner in the long term. So because of all of this, crypto, could have priced this in before all of this happened. So the bottom could be in for crypto. Not saying it will, but there's a high probability because crypto tends to move first. Crypto moves before the stock market. It tends to sell off before the stock market. So Bitcoin altcoins had a steeper correction before the stock market happened. And now that that was all priced in, we could have a potential rally for Bitcoin if this is, limited to only those 15 countries for reciprocal tariffs later today. So that is a possibility, which I'm hoping for. I'm hoping comes to fruition. Then moving on, we had a DeFi altcoin that surged 100% in the past 24 hours. However, it's not looking too great right now. So we have Upbit Korea, the largest exchange in Korea. They listed Compound, an OG DeFi coin, and they listed it today. And every time a coin gets listed on Upbit, it goes crazy. But look at this chart. So it went 100%. It went from about $40 all the way up to around $80 to hit this order block here, and then instantly sold off the same day and is now closing below multiple levels of resistance. So this is not what you want to see. And it just kind of shows what the current market is. Anytime that there is some kind of explosive growth, the market is looking to take profits very fast right now. So obviously Trump's tariffs and the other macroeconomic events happening this week will play a big factor in this. But currently the entire sentiment is risk off. So as soon as this pumped like crazy, there were whales to come in and sell this off. So it's not looking that great. There's not anything I would be positioning in right now. As we've taken all of this liquidity up here and we are now closing back below here, especially on the daily chart, it's not looking the best. And I expect us probably to trade back down here, probably towards $39 very soon. So probably not one that you want to get involved in right now. It's definitely a bit of a weaker asset, but maybe there's gonna be something for this later this year. But Compound, yeah, I would not touch this right now, even though it pumped like crazy and it's been getting a lot of headlines. Then moving on, we have Look On Chain, and whales are accumulating Pendle, another RWA token that's not Ondo. So 5 newly created wallets withdrew 2.66 million Pendle for $7.9 million from Binance in the past 5 days. Also, Pendle said Pendle is now available on Coinbase, which is probably the reason for that. And then we have Smart Money Detective saying Pendle is now in the top 5 in TVL on Sonic, which was previously Phantom. So Pendle is getting a lot of TVL. Pendle is a RWA protocol. And so Pendle is actually looking pretty decent right now. It's reclaimed this level of support. But I will say we want to see it close above this level at $3.60. It's currently at $3 right now. For us to be, very bullish and, think that this continue higher, I want to see it reclaim this level where this is, a major breakdown point right here. Around $3.60. If we can, reclaim this, decisively, I'd be looking to get back into this. But right now, it's very possible that we just, trickled back down if there's bad news coming out today. So we want to see it close above here. Until then, I'm not really interested in it right now because it's, just like this, we can just fall back through this. Since we've already broken this multi-month level of support, since we've broken down here, what's to say we can't break back down here again? And then moving on, we have SMBC, Japan's #2 bank, which will create a stablecoin. It'll run on Avalanche, aiming for faster, cheaper transactions. This signals growing institutional crypto adoption and real-world use. Do you have Avax in your portfolio? So Japan really seems to like Avax. The crypto professor also said World Liberty Financial's current portfolio by chain, Ethereum, Mantle, and Avalanche. Ask yourself why Mantle and why Avax and not the other chains. So Avalanche is doing pretty big things. And actually, just last month, they came out with the Avalanche card, which is designed for a world where crypto isn't just held, but it's used. A new way to connect without relying on mainstream tools. So Avax has been one of those ones that's kind of like quietly building in the background. It's also not at an area where I would want to buy it just yet. Just like Pendle, this is kind of around the same area here, although it's a little bit lower. just like Avax, not looking as great. It's broken through this level of support here, a multi-year level of support. It's broken through a reclaim, but it broke back down underneath it, and it's doing an underside retest. So basically that shows that it doesn't really respect this level that much anymore, as it's quickly going through it, back down, and through it again. So this isn't a level that we want to be buying at, because we don't know if it's going to be a level reclaim. Just like this, if you were to buy it here and think it was a level reclaim, I'll zoom in for you. Typically, this is what I look for. I look for it to break through and then come down and reclaim the level. And then if you were to use my trading system, you would buy here in hopes that it would go back up. But because it just broke back through this level of support and is now doing an underside retest, it's most likely probably going to come back down here, unfortunately. So because it's not showing, respect to this level here, we really want to see it reclaim this level back up here at around $26, which was the point of breakdown from a couple of months ago back in February. So this is a clear level where if we got back above here, this would be a higher low, and it's actually somewhere that I could see us continuing higher from, versus if we just start to close above here and start making lows higher lows like this, we could still come up here and then reject back down again. So I want to see us break above this level and hold this point of breakdown right here. And I'll be much more interested in Avax by then. So right now we're currently around just under $20. If we can get up to $26, it's a much more high conviction play for me. But Avalanche overall, it seems to be getting adoption from RWA Financial and Japan and all that. So it shouldn't be too much of an issue if we have a risk on market again that we could get back up here. So that is Avax. Then we have Ali charts saying whales sold 760,000 Ethereum in the last 2 weeks. So whales have been selling ETH like crazy. But then also Crypto Rover says Ethereum just had 4 consecutive red months. The last time this happened was during the 2018 bear market. ETH is extremely undervalued. So we can see here the chart here, 7 red months back in 2018, 3 red months in 2022, which is the other bear market. And then we've had 4 red months with 3 red months before that. In 2024 and 2025. So ETH is very undervalued, and you guys know I don't love ETH, but we survived the worst Q1 in Ethereum history. We deserve the best Q2 ever now. So even though Ethereum is not my favorite and it has been one of the most underperforming assets, the fact that it has had such a bad quarter means that I'm not going to be bearish here. This is actually where I want to start looking for positions on Ethereum, because it's at a multi-year level of support. So while I don't want to be shorting it, I do think we can go lower, but I do think it's probably going to be something like this, where maybe we pop up a little bit and eventually we come back down here to around $1,600. And that's where I'm going to be actually very bullish on Ethereum, and I think we'll go higher. This isn't the area where I want to be taking a big swing short on Ethereum. The area to do that was back here around, when we lost this level below $3,000. This was the area to do a big swing short. This isn't the area to get super bearish on Ethereum. This is the area to be patient, wait for Ethereum to come probably around here, or likewise if it reclaimed $2,200-ish. If we reclaim this level, these are the 2 areas where I'd be very bullish on Ethereum. So even though ETH isn't my favorite altcoin, it's not the time to get very bearish on it. It's the time to be waiting patiently and become bullish on Ethereum very soon, because I think we will have a resurgence in Ethereum. It can't just have a terrible entire bull market. I do expect there to be some outperformance at some point for ETH, especially since it is one of the biggest positions of RWA Financial, Donald Trump's DeFi project. So that is the video for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.